About blew my eardrums out. I got to turn this down a little bit. All right, we're back for this Politics and Prepper Saturday night podcast. We're here every Saturday night, 10 o'clock Central Time, and it's at TalkShoe.com. So stop by and give us a holler. Join in if you want. Unless you're a liberal, we don't need you. And the TalkShoe number, the show number is 120315. And like I said, we're here every Saturday night, and looks like we got a full house tonight. Al and Mike are back. And well, maybe not a full house because Jim's not here. But he's out doing judging the barbecue contest. Lucky dude.
You'd rather be there. No, I'm just kidding.
Man,
I'm hungry.
What?
Only because I'm hungry.
Does he get to eat any of it?
Oh yeah, he gets to eat for free. He gets to, once they do the judging, he can go back and go to the one he likes the best and have a meal.
Oh man.
All right, now we had a conversation last night, and it was kind of off the cuff, off recording. And we're going to try to go through that again, and we'll see how it works out. But, just to start something out and get this off my head here, because I told y'all about last night. This is the kind of people y'all are sitting back and voluntarily letting run your lives and do just... You'll sit back and tell people they're stupid for not trusting the government. And when you got this kind of idiot or these kind of idiots running the show, especially your local government, because that's what this is about, and you just sit back and put up with this shit, it's, you deserve what you get. And that's part of what this show is about. We're sick and tired of what we're getting. All right. I live outside of Bexar County. I have never... Well, I won't say I've never, since the second, third grade, I think I started fourth grade out here where I'm at now. I have never been in San Antonio, lived in San Antonio since then, and I'm plus 50. I got a jury summons for Bexar County, and I don't live in that county. And like I said, I haven't lived in that county for many, many years. They addressed it to my house. Wouldn't that kind of tell you something? The zip code tells you where I live, alone. But when you address it for the street that I live on, and the city I live on, and it's not even in the same county, what kind of idiot or idiots is running this? Now, the last time they did this to my wife a few years ago, and me a few years ago. The last time I did this, it has a place, and it even says, to be eligible, you've got to be a citizen of that county. And then down here, it's got a questionnaire thing, and it goes, how long have you been a resident of that county? I haven't. And then it's got some other questions. Last time, I just put down, never have been, and then I went through and answered all their little questions and put none of your damn business. And then I even broke down and called them and said, look, I know y'all are idiots and y'all get paid no matter how stupid you are, but take me off your freaking list. And I said it nicer than that, folks. But I'm not going to do anything this time. I'm not going to send it back to them. And by the way, you don't have to sign for these things, so they can't ever prove you got them. My son's name is the same as mine, and they don't have a junior, a senior, a 1 or 2 here, so they don't know who it is. What do you do? I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to ignore it. And if I'm in San Antonio sometime, and they pull me over, and they give me a hard time about it, then I'm going to have some fun with them.
Awesome.
That's going to just make my day.
Yep.
Especially if they arrest me. Not that I want to get arrested, but what comes afterwards with the lawyer.
Yep.
And it's just stupid. I can see it myself. I know that it's stupid. They even got a barcode there that shows you what the address is. You know, their machine, you would think, would kick it out and say, hey, they don't live here. All right. I got that off my shoulder. So what I wanted to go back to was, y'all have both watched the new show, the first episode of Revolution on NBC. Now, I think we all have things that we found that were stupid or wrong, or we're waiting to see what the heck the deal is. And before I get going, if either one of y'all have something specific about that show y'all want to say, let me know. If y'all want to start something.
Well, we were talking about this whole concept of what would have caused this issue where there's no machines. Like, how could a basic like steam engine or something like that not work? Or basic diesel engine. Something's not computerized.
Right. And what did we do last night? We talked about, if it was a man-made like virus, it wouldn't affect old motors, old cars. There's no way for it to get in. There's no computer. There's no way it could have messed with them. And if it was EM blast from nuclear, then there's a lot of stuff that's out there that's been protected. Why wouldn't it still work? And how will it affect the whole world? There would have to be a whole bunch of them. And
some of the stuff should be able to be fixed.
And if it was an EM from the sun, I guess the sun would have had to just keep doing it for all this time for nothing to work. Because every time you brought something that was protected, it would be fried too. But even that wouldn't affect the old tractors, diesel motors. So I think Al mentioned last night that he was pretty sure that it was something nuclear. If I'm wrong, Al, tell me, because I missed it. Maybe I missed something and you saw something?
Well, I mean, no, there was just one part where when it was happening, they did a flashback to when it was happening, and you were seeing the lights shutting off on all the cars on the freeway. There looked like, some sort of electrostatic or magnetic stuff coming down out of the sky. So, that kind of gave it away there. It's got to be some sort of EMP. I don't know if it's like aliens that did it or
the sun or man or
the sun. More than likely, it was probably the sun.
But what's the little thing with the necklace have to do with the sun?
Yeah, well, that too. But not only that, if the sun, if it was one from the sun, it was strong enough to knock out the whole world. It would probably be killing people too.
Right.
Yeah, and that's kind of what looks like. Do we have a guest on here? Looks like we have a guest. Well, welcome, guest. I think I allowed participation if you want to type something in or call in. So anyway, what we're saying is it doesn't make sense, And, we saw the scene where the plane's falling out of the air. Well, if its electrical is gone and it can't fly, why is its lights on? Did you notice that was front of there? The lights are on.
Yeah.
Of course, they were flashing, and they've got to take some creative license. You wouldn't have seen the plane falling out of the air if the lights wouldn't have been on. Maybe so maybe that's why they did that. And I don't really care about this stuff. They haven't ruined the show by doing this stuff for me. I'm enjoying the show, but it's fun to talk about. And
I was more intrigued by the whole concept of doing it guns. It just seems so far-fetched.
Of what?
How they got to the point where no one had guns.
Oh, yeah, the no one had guns part. Yeah, that doesn't make of course, it is NBC, and they don't like guns. They're liberal too. They're liberals as hell. So I'm really surprised they even had this show on. And if it wasn't for the show, I never watch NBC, or very, very seldom. If it wasn't for the show being on, I probably still wouldn't be watching them. And I don't watch it except for the show right now. But, you know, the lights were flashing on the plane when it fell, but also you saw the lights flash when the lights on the cars were going out. So, you know, what are they doing there? And it is only the first show. So maybe they'll show us some tractors that are actually working, because, you know, tractors, diesel motors, you could use your, you know, make some biofuel for it. There's all kinds of things. Let's see here. It looks like one of our guests would like to come in. We're going to give a guest a shot here. Let's see if he wants to come in or not. There we go. I can't read that from here. I got to get over here and see.
Good evening.
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
What's your name, man?
Sorry, it's Aroostook Watchman. Aroostook is the largest county east of the Mississippi. It's in northern Maine.
Oh, another visitor from the Northeast.
Yeah. I'm just kind of an interloper. I don't want to interfere in your call. By chance, I just picked you and was sitting here playing with my system, trying to see if it was going to work properly or not, and got on your call. I don't want
we were talking about.
Well, you're welcome to join in if you want to.
Yeah.
Are you discussing 9/11?
Well, right now we were discussing the new show Revolution. We were going to have some fun with that for a little bit, and then we were going to go on to more important things.
But we do occasionally discuss 9/11.
Yes, we do discuss a lot of this BS that's been going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't like the system and the way it's been working, and we think we're having our rights infringed on. Yeah.
It's broken.
And,
we have no rights. We have forgot how to exercise them. Our rights have atrophied to nothing.
And that's one of the reasons we're doing the show, because we're sick and tired of it. And we're sick and tired of our rights being taken, and we want them back.
You have to take them back. You can't vote them back. You can't ask for them back. You have to take them back.
Well, I'm afraid you might be right, but we're still working from the concept that if we get enough people to stand up and try to vote right, but I don't know if that's going to help.
Or prepare.
So you're going to vote for people and ask them to vote themselves less power and pay decreases. Sure.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
That's not going to work, buddy.
Oh, we realize it's not going to work.
I know.
But I'm not ready to. I'm not ready to start calling out for violence, but I think it could be done even by. Yeah, you can get out and protest and kick them out of the office. Say, look, you can start your local area and say, we're sick and tired of your crap. Get out. You know. Well,
we have to learn the process that we're supposed to be using, not the process they have instructed us to use. See, they have instructed us to use the legal system instead of the lawful system.
Yeah, and they have twisted and turned the legal system upside down, so where nothing works for you, it only works for them.
Well, Maine has a really interesting constitution. It's one of the best in the country. I'm amazed as I read it, some of the stuff. In Article 1, Section 15, it says, the people at all times have the right to peaceably assemble, to instruct the legislature. And we're getting ready to do that.
I hope you do. I would like to see some people start standing up and saying, that's enough.
Well, we have an interesting group in Maine. It's called the Constitution Coalition. And basically what it is we were all in different little groups, Tea Partiers and Patriot groups and whatnot. And we knew each other, but we didn't have any cohesive way to work together. So what we did was we asked with the leaders of the different groups if they would like to get together and just form a confederation of groups so that we weren't duplicating our efforts.
Right.
And
do you have a
it's
website?
kind of interesting.
Do you have a website or something people can look into? Could you type that into the chat and we'll give it out?
It's
ballisticwatchman.com.
ballisticwatchman.com. Oh no.
Can you type that into the chat? Or do you have a keyboard there? There it is. Okay. Yeah, we'll give that out too.
Are you on
give
the
it
radio?
out again because no, but we'll put it on my website and this website that goes along with this podcast. Mike, why don't you give out the?
Well, we have a website. It's livefreenews.com.
And there's not a whole lot of stuff there. We just kind of started, but it's livefreenews.com, and then mine is bestbugoutbadcontent.com. So we'll check you out the website and stuff, and we'll put that stuff
not going
in there
anywhere.
Too. No, that's what we're talking about. Have been talking about too. We're not going anywhere.
We'll really be anywhere to go.
Yeah, the way things are going, there won't be any place to go if
That's
something
right.
goes really bad.
My wife has asked me repeatedly, well, what are we going to do if this happens? Where are we going to go? I said, honey, we already went. We're there. This is where we are going to stay. This is our last stand. I am not going to run anywhere. They're going to do whatever they want to do, and we are going to resist with whatever force we can, whatever methods we can, and whatever happens, happens. But I'm not going anywhere. I've already gone.
So whenever you peacefully assemble, you think they're going to roll out the intimidation tanks?
No, I don't.
All that stuff.
We're going to peaceably assemble and be invited onto the House floor by one of the Patriot members of Congress of the state, and we're going to instruct them as to what they will do, what constitutional laws they are breaking, and the fact that if they do not bring the state into compliance with the Constitution of the state, then we are going to vacate their authority.
Well, I like it. I like it a lot.
It scares me to death to do it, but we're going to do it.
Well, yeah, this stuff is scary. That's why people aren't doing it. And some people won't do it because they don't think they'll make a difference, or they don't want to give up the hours to go fishing or hunting or play golf or watch their TV or, that's going to take up too much time.
But you got to know, we have to study to show ourselves approved. We have to try, we have to be able to speak it fairly clearly. We have to have the lawful backing of the Constitution, either of our state or the federal, and we have to explain it carefully and without a whole lot of emotion and patriot myths. We have to do it properly and in order to be able to make it effective. It's not easy to do. I want to stand there and scream at them, but I have to restrain myself, and I'm not real good at that.
Yeah, I kind of have the same problem. I've always had an authority figure problem in the first place, and I've had times when I've just told them off and said, get lost. And other times when I'm trying to do it the right way because I'm in a certain kind of environment, I'm trying to be nice, and I don't really want to. I'm going to want to say, look, you're a dumbass. Get the, whatever. I'm sick and tired of your stuff.
When are y'all doing this?
We're not sure. We're still working on the wording and the timing. Our legislature is not in session currently. Will not be in session until, I think, either December or January. And so, unfortunately, we can't do it. We thought we were going to have a special session of Congress that the legislature, that the governor was going to call, but he didn't, and so that we lost that opportunity. But that's the general idea. But you have to know, you have to understand the Constitution, the federal and your state constitution. We're very fortunate in Maine. Maine has a really incredibly good constitution. I had not realized until a few years ago when I first started digging into it just how good it was. The first third of it was actually written by Jefferson.
Good man. Very good man.
So what do you think is going to happen on the national level in the upcoming months?
I think I'm going to throw up. That's where I'm going to start.
I'm not even speaking of the election. I mean,
yeah, I get you. I don't know. Just when you asked the question, I knew what you were asking, and you can't see me sitting here, but I have goosebumps, and I'm kind of in a cold sweat because I know that it's the potential is for very, very ungood things are going to happen sometime mid-October, most likely. I
think I know why you asked that question, because last night I got these two guys together and we had a little visit, because Al and I both have been hearing so much the last few days or so about more and more people actually getting very concerned about what's going to happen in the next few months, whether it be around election time or whether it be early next year. But people are getting, I'm hearing it, Al's hearing it. I don't know about Mike. I don't think we ever got.
No, but I got a weird thing on a flyer on my door. I live in a small town.
You can feel it.
Yes, exactly.
You can literally feel it. I talk to people all the time, and they can't articulate what they're feeling, but they know that they're feeling that there's something sinister brewing. There's an underlying discomfort, an underlying disquietness, that they're just, something's wrong, and this is not a normal situation. This is not just your standard crisis.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, you were saying something about a flyer?
Well, yeah, I live in a small town of just probably 300 people or something, and or maybe 1,000 people, I don't know. But anyhow, I got a flyer saying instructing you what to do in the case of an emergency.
Yeah, and the government's even getting prepared for it, because they're buying 160 billion rounds of ammo.
It's not as weird for a town my size.
40 caliber hollow points that you can't use in the military.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't use them for target practice either.
You're not, unless you're a moron.
Yeah,
we've been talking about that a lot.
Yeah, that's part of what we were talking about last night. They buy 160 million rounds in the last year.
No.
Billion.
1.6 billion.
Billion. 1.6 billion. Sorry, 1.6 billion rounds.
How many rounds are that for every man, woman, and child in the country?
Oh,
that's it.
It's 30.
That's about 10 rounds, 15 rounds for every man, woman, and child. So something's wrong with that picture. These are not the military. This is the security people.
Yeah, and they're trying to whitewash it and change the story. So, well, we only got 100 and something million, and that was for Social Security. Last time I checked, and it was for just target practice. Yeah. I don't think they need that many, and it's a lie anyway.
Was only 174,000.
Yeah, and it's for target practice. And why do they need that many, even if it was just for target practice?
Quick, take that target off.
And we know for a fact that it's 1.6 billion, because it's all over the place. The information has been there, and it was there. Of course, they're going back and blacking it out wherever they can get away with it, but it's been copied over, and people have got the original, screenshots and stuff of the originals. So we've got, like NBC, liberal media is not going to report anything that doesn't go the way the liberals want, so they're going to report the lies. But we can help get it out by doing shows like this.
Good plan. Good plan.
People like you, the group you're working with, that could, I like
keep
it.
The conversation going.
I'm going to keep track of what y'all are doing too.
Keep the conversation going. People wake up.
Sure. So I take it you're prepping.
Say it again.
Are you prepping?
Stored up with food and stuff.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, because
Well,
he's planning on staying right where he's at. He may need some of that stuff.
Well, I've got a wonderful well and a hand pump that pumps 22 ounces per stroke, not 22 strokes per ounce. I'm
I'm probably the
mile
luckiest.
and a half
I'm
off
the
the
lucky
road.
one. Yeah, I live in a small town that's near a very large town, but I do have a well, and it's not very deep, and you can get water fairly easy from it, which is a plus for me. But I don't
I've
even
been
want
off the grid for 20 years.
Oh, I'm trying to get there, but got it. There's so much stuff to do, and it costs so much to get everything built, even if you could build most of it yourself.
I'm not even prepared for the weekend.
An honest man in the group. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
I'm not a prepper.
You know, since you've been off the grid for 20 years, and that's part of what we talk about too, is getting off the grid. And you mind if I ask you a couple questions about that?
Absolutely not.
Okay. To get off the grid, what did you do? Did you go solar or wind or what?
You have to make a hybrid system. It's not cost effective, and most of us don't have a couple $100,000 to throw at it to make a single power source our major only way to go. Because I do not have a good wind site, I have solar primarily and a generator backup. And so I have solar panels, good ones, and decent batteries, and finally got a good diesel generator.
Yeah, and it's very expensive to go that way, but you know,
well, not
I'm working
really.
at it.
The solar panels that I have in the current market would probably go around $800 a piece. I have 3 of them. I'd like to have 6. The batteries are I use the Sam's Club 6-volt, good, the best quality batteries I can get. They're $92 a piece. Takes 2 of them to make a 12-volt system. I need at least 12 to run my house. My generator, I bought it as this one. Finally have a decent big diesel. I paid $2,000 for it. It's a military surplus, 12 kW. It'll run my house and my neighbors, but I don't have any neighbors, so they're out of luck.
Did you store up a lot of, you know, the diesel fuel goes bad after a while. You looked into all that, how to store enough diesel?
Diesel fuel is pretty easy to store. Gasoline is more difficult. Diesel fuel, you need to put a little bit of stabilizer in it. The diesel fuel is also home heating oil, and so my oil tanks are also my storage for my fuel for my generator.
And see, I forget about that sometimes. 'Cause I haven't been up north for so long that, you know, we don't have that down here. You know, we don't do diesel oil and stuff. But well, I'm working at this stuff.
We can do like biodiesel and stuff.
Those 6-volt batteries you were talking about, are they marine batteries or?
No, the marine batteries are not quite as good. You need deep cycle. What I use are 6-volt deep cycle Duracell. What are they? EC82 or something like that. I don't know. But you can get them right in Sam's Club. They're $94 a piece. Takes 2 of them to make a 12-volt system. You put 2 of them together, it makes 12 volts. You put 2 sets of 2 together, it gives you 12 volts, but it doubles the amperage. There are 120 amp hours per set of 2. It's not too hard to do, but you do have to understand basic electricity. You have to understand, and then you have to have an inverter or some way to get it from DC to whatever you're going to use. Now, my house is a combination. I've got a hybrid. I've got some DC systems, and I've got some AC systems. So I have an old, real good trace inverter, which runs everything. I walk in the house, I flip the switch, the lights come on most of the time.
All right, well, we lost Al. I'm trying to get Al back in. Mike, if you get okay, he's back. All right. You probably didn't catch that, but you can catch it on the recording. It was a nice little tidbit of information for some of the people who are looking into some of it, because I haven't got that far yet.
You need to do that, even if it's just on a very small scale. It's
right now I'm working on some wind generating stuff.
Okay, if you got wind, that's great. I don't. I'm kind of secluded. I'm deep in the woods, and I really like it that way. But you need a way to utilize the power that you've stored. Solar panels are really good. They're not real expensive. You can set them up, or you can use your little wind generator to.
Well, they're not even hard to build.
Yeah.
That basic electrical, you can build them yourself. It's not a hard thing to do.
I don't know if you're familiar with Jim Baker.
No.
PTL Ministries, Tammy. You remember Tammy Baker? Tammy Baker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
well, Jim Baker's back in circles, and he's actually doing some really good stuff. And one of the things that he's offering, it doesn't apply to me, but for a lot of city dwellers and people that are not engineering types, he has this thing that they call the fuelless generator. It's $1,900. It's 600 watts. It has its own batteries. They're lithium ions. It's got its own inverter. It'll run a whole bunch of stuff in your house, and it comes with all kinds of nifty accessories and its own solar panels, and you can plug it into the wall to keep it charged. And it even has a little hand crank doodad to help you if you get low on power. So it'll run your refrigerator for an hour. It'll run your lights. It'll run your TV. So it's a neat little thing for people that are not really capable of building their own system.
Yeah, I'll look into that, because I've been checking on lots of different systems out there, because there's a lot of stuff out there. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff out there. I mean, just a lot of stuff out there. And there's some that has to do with perpetual motion and self-generating stuff. And I don't know if any of it's even good, but I'm looking into it.
Yeah, stick with the stuff that you know works.
Yeah.
We don't have time to be
I'm trying to find
stuff
somebody
that might work.
Yeah, well, there was some guy here a while back that I was told about that built one, and it had it working. And I'm trying to locate him and see if he'll let me come see it work. Because a video on the YouTube or whatever won't do it. I don't know if they're faking it unless I see it. And I know a lot about electrical and mechanical, and if I can see it, I'll know if it works or not.
I want to put my fingers in the slots and get zapped.
Yeah.
I've
really seen a lot of stuff out there, but I just don't believe that it works without actually seeing it. My dad was from Missouri, so they got to show me.
Me too. And I'm not from Missouri, but you still got to show me.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of stuff out there. If you've got just a little bit of handyman in your bloodstream, you can make it pretty simple and make it pretty effective. I mean, you can
start out with a small,
Amazon.
You can start out small and gradually build onto it.
Absolutely.
Just get started.
That's what I was getting at. Get started. If you have a couple of good 6-volt batteries that you can tie together and make a 12-volt battery so that you can have some amperage capacity, you can buy a cheap inverter at any discount store for less than $50. You can go on to Amazon.com and buy some of these nifty ribbon lights. They're 12-volt. What are they? Micah, what are they? Lighting. The lights, not incandescent.
They're LED or
diode. Diode.
Yeah.
Lights.
LED, light-emitting diode.
LEDs. I had a brain fart there. You can buy them. They're in a strip. They put out tremendous light. I can't wait to get some more of them. They cost me like $12 for a 16-foot segment. It tapes onto the trim in my kitchen and lights up the whole kitchen. Runs right off the batteries. Runs for weeks without charging the batteries.
That's pretty good.
Oh, it's great.
I kind of heard something about that, but I hadn't got there yet because I'm still in the process of trying to build this wind generator and maybe then go into getting some solar panels and building those.
It's so simple. You get a strip of those lights and a couple of even just a regular marine deep cycle battery, not a big expensive fancy one, and hook it up, and you'll just have wonderful lighting in any dark place in your house. It's 16 feet long, and it's great. I love it. Cheap, $13 for a 16-foot light that the battery lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, that's good and I was kind of looking into that, but that was one of the ones on the back burner, because I can only tackle so many things at a time.
Yeah.
But I ran across a YouTube video on that a while back, and I never got back to actually looking at prices and everything. But I like that tip too. But,
I was surprised.
Have you done any freeze drying? Your own freeze drying? Because that's where we're going.
There ain't enough hours in the day. That's just out there way on the far end of the list. I just don't have enough time. It's just not possible.
Well, that's where we're going next, because we're only doing about an hour show, and I wanted to get that in there tonight. So
cool.
Hang around if you want to, and pitch in where you want. Al?
Yes.
This is where we go back to the last night's conversation. You went and you picked up a little freeze dryer thing. Well, tell us about it.
The little
dehydrator, yeah.
Well, that's a big difference between dehydration and freeze drying.
Freeze dry, but I meant yeah.
Oh, yeah, those are great. Those are great.
Yeah, there is a big difference between freeze drying. Yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Al.
Well, get the terminology straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, freeze drying, actually, you lose a lot of nutrition when you do that.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, if you buy commercially done freeze-dried stuff, they actually replace a lot. You lose flavoring as well as nutrition, and they actually put chemicals in them to enhance the flavoring.
Well, I think that's where part of what we were asking, Mike was asking last night, he was asking about the flavor. I think that's probably where people get that idea that maybe the dehydrating might do the same thing. But anyway, go on. Tell us about what you did.
I'm not caring about them.
Go ahead, Al.
Oh, okay. Well, no, no, it doesn't. I've been doing. I'm doing a lot of dehydrating for the space savings. You definitely. When like these mixed vegetables, I've been doing takes 5 pounds down to about 10 ounces or so. Is just a tremendous amount of space savings.
And that is important, because to get enough food in your house to last a while, I mean, it takes a lot of room for food.
Right, it does.
And weight if you had to take off in a hurry.
Well, that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
You can grab a whole lot of mixed vegetables. When it's when you knock 5 pounds down to about 10 ounces, you can carry a lot of it. But I'm trying to figure out how to dehydrate water. Is what I'm trying to do.
Oh God, Al! I wish I had that app we were using earlier, Mike. I would have put the drum in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, you just add a little water and you got water, right?
That's it.
You're funny.
Who was that?
But anyway, I'm really happy with this little. I got this. The one I bought, I only paid $69 for it. It's a Waring Pro, which is a fairly well-known name. They call it their Dehydrator Pro. It's got 5 trays and works great. I've been real happy with it.
Well, you ordered something from Amazon, a little screen or something you cut down to put in there for the smaller stuff?
Yeah, I've got that. I got that in the trays. Matter of fact, I've been dehydrating today stuff, and that worked out great.
Where'd you get it? Lowe's, the dehydrator?
I got this. The one I've got, I bought at Fry's Electronics, but they do carry them at Home Depot or Lowe's, one of the two. I think it was Lowe's, but actually both of them may carry it. But you can actually just Google it.
Yeah, I don't think they're really hard to find.
No, but it works great. I didn't want to spend. I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, and so I didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars to get the Excalibur, which everybody seems to really promote on YouTube. So this one here had a lot of really good reviews. And so I just said, hey, I'll spend $69. And actually, I'm going to get a food saver. I don't have a food saver yet. I'm going to go ahead and pick up one of those.
Well, I'm going to get some bags and take them to work because we got a food saver at work. And they'll let me use it. So.
I like the food saver concept.
Yeah. You can dehydrate this stuff, put it in there, seal it, and it's going to last a long, long time.
Well, I was at Walmart today, and they had some bulk, 20-pound bags of rice for $9, and pinto beans for I think it was $8. It was like $10, something like that. Well, anyway, I bought some of those and put them in the Mylar bags. I put it in small 7-pound. I took 1 gallon size Mylar bags and put like 7 pounds in each one of them. So kept it small.
Those are dry beans?
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead and tell them what you could get the frozen ones and stuff. Tell them how you prepared the stuff you were talking about.
Oh, you're talking about for the dehydrating?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dehydrating. If you buy the frozen, normally if you want to dehydrate vegetables, you have to do what they call blanching it. And if you buy the frozen vegetables, it's already blanched. It's already done for you. And so basically you just take the frozen vegetables, spread it out on a tray and go for it, and dehydrating it. And you don't have to do anything to it.
You said it took about 4 hours for the ones you were doing so far?
Yeah. Well, it depends on how many you got. I had a whole 5-pound bag in there today, and it's about 6 hours on that. So actually, it shouldn't have been that long, but I was running on medium for about 3 of it. So if I'd been running on high the full time, it would have been a lot quicker. But
if you want to do some of that, before I do say that, does this thing have a timer on it, or do you have to turn it off and on by itself?
I have a timer on my iPhone. Really, if you stop and think about it, I saw that people said, I bought this one, not even this model, but I saw with other models, they said, I wish they had a timer on it. I'm like, why would you want to spend another $50, $60, $70 for the same model with a timer on it when, you got timers on your iPhone? Or
I want to get an iPhone app that dehydrates.
Do what?
I just want the iPhone app that dehydrates food. Get a lot easier.
What I did see an app out there on dehydrating food. I didn't get it, but seriously, I've got you got timer apps that you can have multiple things being timed at the same time.
Well, I'm going to give you a little idea about something.
What's that?
There's these little cheap timers that you can get. They're a mechanical little timer. They don't cost much, and it's right around the corner. I don't know and all you could at night when you get ready to go to bed and you want to set another one, you put it on there and you got these little pins in there. You can set it to run as long as you want. It'll come on when you're ready. It'll go off when you're ready. So if you want to do one at night.
Oh, I've got one. It's a digital one. The one I've got is a digital one.
Okay. Well, the other ones are even cheaper, but
yeah.
So you when you get ready to go to bed at night, you could put it in there and go to sleep, and it'll be ready in the morning, and you could pull that stuff out, throw it in a can or something, and then start another one just before you leave to go to work. So you could get a lot more done in a.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've already I've got a digital timer. You just plug it in the socket, and you plug this device into it, and it'll turn it on or off.
Yeah.
And it's this one here. You can have different settings. You can do it by day even. It's pretty slick.
Well, one of the reasons I'm looking for ways for people to get things done faster and cheaper is because of what we were talking about earlier. People are starting to be nervous. They understand what's going on. I'm hearing more and more about it. And one of the things I'm getting is they're running out of time and they're scared or they're worried or however what you want to describe it. They're just like, how can I get all this shit done? Everything I need to do in the amount of time I really feel like I've got. Well, you're not going to get it all done because no matter where you start and how far you go, there's always more stuff you can do. it's almost a never-ending thing. So you got to kind of control yourself too and say, okay, I'm at this point. I've got what I think I need. I know there's some more stuff I can do, but I can't afford a bunker underground someplace. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. So there's just going to be a logical place where, in your situation, whatever it might be, that it's enough. But you have to start. I don't care if it's taking some water, putting in the bottles, store them in your garage, store them underneath the cabinets or something. That's a place to start. It will start making you feel better once you get started. And the water won't take you very long to get done. And then you can start with this dehydrating stuff.
Right.
It doesn't take, it's not that expensive. You can do it little by little. You can fit it into your budget, or you can just go crazy with it and just start getting it done. And that will make you feel better. Once you've got food and water, you will start feeling more comfortable. Now that you're going to be worried about protecting yourself, you're going to be worried about, well, what can I do to stop this shit? I don't know what, we know what we can do, what we're trying to do, and what our guest on is that what they're getting ready to do. They're actually getting up and doing something. And that's what we need more and more people to do.
Right. Well, also I was going to point out you can get on at Amazon. They have it. They have these bladders.
Yep.
That hold about 100 gallons, I think it is.
Yes.
And just they're $24 for them. And you can have one of those on hand, and if you see the need arise, you can throw it in your bathtub, and you fill it up, and it'll you got 100 gallons right there. But in addition to that, you can buy these 5-gallon buckets at Home Depot or Lowe's for $2.90, I think it is, and then a lid for, I think, another $1 for the lid. But, fill those up with 5 gallons of water, tap that lid on there, and, short of that, you get these 55-gallon food-grade barrels on the internet they're about $80, but sometimes you can catch deals on those. But yeah, start off storing water, and then, I was figuring it up today. Rice, a pound of rice is like 60 servings in a pound of rice.
Yeah.
And so I bought these 40 pounds of rice today. You figure that up, that's a lot of. I know you'd be sick of rice, but that's a lot of.
Yeah, but you're dehydrating stuff. All right. We discussed it last night. Okay, you can dehydrate your different vegetables and things. You can also dehydrate meats. You could also season those meats and those vegetables, pre-season them if you wanted to. But
right.
All right, and then you could have them have it done where you rehydrate your beef or your pork or your whatever, put it in with your beans or your rice or whatever, and you can make a lot of different meals with just a very few different dehydrated foods. With the rice, the beans.
How long will that dehydrated beef keep?
That dehydrated beef, if you put it in a food saver,
like a Mylar bag.
Well, one of those food saver bags.
Yeah.
All right. And I'll tell you, one of the ones that I found that works very well is once you put it in that bag, and maybe a Mylar bag too, but then you can put it in like one of those 5-gallon buckets you're talking about.
Right.
Put some rice in the bottom, put your beef in there, and maybe even have like a plastic container that you've cut that's got a lid on it. Take the top off, cut the bottom off, stick it in there, put your beef and stuff in there, then cover it all with rice. Rice is cheap. When you put that top back on it, that beef will not get air. It will not get moisture. It will last many, many years. Plus, you're cooking it. Once you've cooked it right, very little chance of something bad happening. But if you get to a certain situation and it lasts for a while, anything you can do to keep your spirits up, I don't care if it's a book or if it's a nice meal or just look at some different things, something to raise your spirits, eat well, I mean, just eating well will raise your spirits and keep you healthy to deal with it. You know, stress can kick your ass, and if the more stress you got, the more chance you got of losing.
Yeah.
And that's, kind of where we're too, the health issues that go along with this. Start getting healthy again. Start working on that. Get away from the drugs. Get off the drugs if you can find natural ways to do it. A lot of people are unhealthy because they're out of shape and they're eating wrong. And I'm one of them, and I'm working on it. So guess what, Mike?
Yes.
That was your cue. Well, we were talking about last night, about the drugs and everything. And you know something? I don't remember exactly where we even went with it. I remember we got onto it.
We were talking about statin drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Cholesterol control.
Yeah, and I think that's where we got on. I think that's where we started on. We were talking about how well fat dehydrates, like bacon or something. And then we started getting onto the health issues.
Yeah, it was. I was looking into cholesterol. I mean,
there's
I got my
some real basic things in your survival kit.
Yeah. What's that?
Excuse me?
There's some real basic things that got to go in your survival kit. Colloidal silver.
In what way?
Vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
Vitamin C.
Vitamin C, vitamin D, colloidal silver are huge. That's kind of what I do for an almost living.
Yeah, and we're talking about Mike's been checking out the health issue sides of this. The cholesterol, drugs that are killing people, that they're going the wrong way with it. And Mike, you're really more informed in this, and
I don't know that they're killing people, but it's pretty much a marketing scam to make you believe you need to have cholesterol lowering drugs, and at least probably the vast majority of people that get them. I'm not saying there's no benefit to anybody that have them. They are really too quick to want to put people on these drugs because it's not really fixing the problem. It's just trying to create this kind of
Well,
they're fixing they're doing the wrong thing.
They got drugs for every little thing that's wrong with you instead of actually having you go back and do it right.
Well, it's scary because they're actually talking. I saw an article about they want to put this stuff in the water now. They want to put the fat drugs in the water in New York because if someone had thrown around the idea.
Yeah, is it bad enough that we got fluoride in the water? Now they want to put statin drugs in it?
Yeah, and the problem is cholesterol is very important to a lot of bodily functions.
Well, hell, your brain works off of it.
Yeah, the brain uses a lot of cholesterol, and you need cholesterol to convert sunlight to vitamin D, which we already don't get enough vitamin D. And, it's used in muscle repair. And, so what the problem is, the real problem is the inflammation in your system, because that's what damages the arteries. And then the cholesterol is sent there to repair the damage. So, of course, the buildup as you keep having inflammation and other stress, stress and cortisol in the system. So, of course, when they find this plaque buildup, there's going to be some cholesterol in there. But
well, that's where the wheat comes in that we were discussing, and we may have discussed it on other shows. But the wheat products,
wheat's very inflammatory. It's hard on your gut, and when your gut's not healthy, then you're not digesting food right, and then that's going to send toxins into your blood, and that's very inflammatory, causes blood damage. So, and
the cholesterol build up along your arteries because they're irritated.
Yeah, the cholesterol is really not. I don't know that even the professionals believe it causes the hardening of the arteries, but they really believe it's an indicator that something's wrong. Which there's some truth to that. If you have elevated levels of cholesterol, yeah, there can be some truth that you have problems. But
see, my question
the answer is not lower cholesterol. The answer is fix the problem.
Yeah, and the elevated cholesterol levels. and some are saying, and I'm getting so much different information, it's kind of hard to put your finger on it, but you've got doctors out there starting to say that elevated cholesterol, who determined that? Where did we get that from? Did somebody pull it out of their hat?
No, it's pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
They want to sell you the drug. And this is the thing. I've listened to a couple of guys that are experts there. They have done a lot of research, and one guy has actually used to work with pharmaceutical companies to help them with their marketing and such. So, and what they do these studies, like cholesterol in particular, cholesterol-lowering statins. They had results like they'll study 1,000 people, and I don't know the exact numbers, but there'd be like 36 people out of 1,000 that were at risk. So these 1,000 people took statins, and then 36 people died of heart attack. And then they'll say, then there was another group of 1,000, and 58 people died of heart attack. So we're talking the difference between 36 out of 1,000 and 58 out of 1,000. So to me, if you're telling me I got a 3.6% chance, the lower to 33.6 compared to what 5.8 or something like that.
Well, they got to make it sound like that because they want you to think that well, if you take this drug, oh, by the way, don't read the things that it can do to you, because the benefits are better than outweigh that risk. But then when you actually go do the research and find this information, just like you're saying, well, there's really not much risk. So
yeah, they don't tell you that. They don't say, okay, so Mike, I'm a doctor. You have high cholesterol. Now you realize you have like a 5% chance of a heart attack. Cover that. If you take these drugs, you only have a 3.6% chance. And this is how much it costs, and this is the side effects.
Yeah, but you might have a 5% chance that drug's going to screw you up.
Then there's actually more of a chance of that.
Well, I would just throw in a number. I don't know what the numbers are.
But then the other part of it is they don't tell you that, in these studies, the actual mortality rate is higher than people taking statins. Well, we're only telling you what. Yeah, the actual mortality rate is higher. You didn't die of other causes of it, So maybe it was cancer, maybe it was who knows what.
Well, and I can't remember his name, and y'all that know me know I have a hard time with names. But there was a doctor, and Al, you might have heard this, that was talking. He was a big heart doctor, been doing heart surgery for years, and he's saying every case he has seen throughout his life that he's gone in and had to do heart surgery because of cholesterol problems, clogged arteries, is because there was inflammation. And that inflammation is caused by wheat and grains and sugar.
Sugar is one of the worst ones, for glucose in the blood.
And that the cholesterol level is not anywhere near as important, because if those veins were healthy, as far as no irritation, that cholesterol would not stick. It would go right on through your body, be processed as it should be.
They send it there, yeah.
Yeah. And then you wouldn't need that drug that they're making millions and billions of dollars off of. That might kick your ass too.
Yeah, and they confuse everyone, partly because they don't really know what they're talking about. And
some doctors don't even know the difference. I mean, they don't understand. They're thinking they're doing something good, but they're not.
No, but they keep changing the message. They say, overall cholesterol, if it's high, it's bad. And they say, well, then there's the good cholesterol, which is the HDL. You got to cut that up. And then they say, well, you can't have your LDL too high because that'd be bad. And now, so there's all these different things. But then the stuff I've been reading, the LDL, which is supposed to be the bad cholesterol. And that's what mine went way up since I went on the diet and lost 40 pounds. But I don't care.
It's all about balance. It's the ratio.
Exactly.
If you take your total and you divide it by the good, you divide the total by the HDL, your ratio should be right about 4.0. A 4.0 leaves you at a very, very minimal risk for cardiovascular disease. You start getting into the 5.5, you need to make some serious changes. But the ratio is much more important than the raw numbers.
Yeah, I've actually read that it was the ratio of the HDL to the LDL, so some people go with that.
No,
but
if you take the total, say it's 240, and you divide it by your HDL, which say is 60, that's 4. Right on.
Hey, we got another guest on. Black Swan Hunter, welcome.
So, so I don't get too excited about the cholesterol. Although I think it's something you should watch for people.
Well, they want to put me on those statin drugs for my cholesterol, and I'm trying to learn more about it so I can try to fix it myself.
How high is your cholesterol? What's your numbers?
Well, they weren't real high, but I don't remember exactly what they were right now. I have to go back and because he didn't even tell me what I also asked him about my testosterone level. And he did a test on that, and he said that was a little low too. But he didn't give me any numbers. So I should have asked, and I didn't. But I'm really getting tired of this doctor, so I'm going to probably change. Because this is one of he used to be very easygoing, explain stuff, give you time. Now he's just in and out, and if you question him, and he thinks you're doubting his word, he's like in your face. Not real bad. He's not like, cussing you out or anything, but like really defensive about it. And he doesn't give you time anymore. So I'm going to have to find a better doctor that I can sit.
A doctor gives you time.
Gives me a little bit more time and will explain some of this to me so I can understand instead of just saying, okay, here's some drugs. Get this level's high, that level's high. Here's some drugs to fix it.
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
No.
Yeah.
He
used to not be that way.
I do nutritional counseling all the time. That's where I am. I'm sitting right now in a 10,000 square foot health food store. And one of the things that I tell people all the time is get the numbers, do your own research. Just because they say you're in the safe zone or it's okay, this number is okay, that level is bad, that means nothing. Those are all subjective. You got to have the numbers, and you want to be in the optimal zone, not just not quite dead.
Now I'd like to get your opinion on this. The other thing about the LDL is there's not.
Hey, y'all keep going. I'll be right back. I get something to drink.
Yeah, none of the doctors are talking about the VLDL, which is the very low density lipids, where basically, from what I've read, the LDL can be either real small and dense, which is the sign that you have problems. But if you have a high LDL that's real fluffy, bigger size lipids, I guess, but that's actually not bad. So there's some tests that you can get done for the size for the LDL. And I'd be curious to see what mine is like that. Have you ever heard anything about that?
I can't answer your question because I can't really hear what you're saying. I can only hear it's awful garbled, and so I'm not really 100% sure what you're asking. Sorry.
No, well, is that any better?
A little.
My connection might not be bad. It might be bad.
I don't know if it's you or me. It might be me. I'm not sure which end of it's. Now, the other gentleman that just went for a drink, I can hear clear as a bell.
Yeah, I was just talking about the particle size for LDL. It is smaller, denser LDL.
The LDL is low density lipoprotein, and so it's kind of the more dangerous floater, stickier. The high density is the one that helps to make hormones.
No, but there's within just the LDL, there's different sizes, and there's you can look it up if you want. But I've been reading a lot about there's VLDL, which is very low density LDL, and then there's a smaller, denser LDL, and there's a test that you can do the particle size of just the LDL, not the HDL. So,
you're talking about differences in grades of LDL.
Yeah, and whenever you go on these really ketonic, like ketosis diets, and you're eating a lot of protein and a lot of fat, saturated fats and stuff, you'll get all the sugars and all the inflammation.
Oh, the sugars drive your triglycerides.
Yeah.
If your triglycerides are high, you reduce the simple carbs and the sugars, your triglycerides will drop.
Yeah, mine actually have. But anyhow, I've been reading about the VLDL, and they say if your LDL is fluffier and bigger, that they're not as dangerous as if you're typically when you're inflamed and you have a bad diet, you'll have a lot more of the smaller, denser LDL, and those are the ones that typically cause problems. So I'm not an expert in it by any means. It's just what I've been hearing.
I have not delved into the nuances of that. No.
There's a guy named Chris Masterjohn.
Hey guys, hang on for just a second. Black Swan Hunter has asked. It was an interesting topic. First, Blackhawk, we usually talk about politics and prepping and all the topics that go along with that, but health is part of what you need to do to be prepared as well. So that's really where we're at in this part of the show here. Now, he's asking if we have any diets that we recommend, keto, paleo, if I pronounced them right.
Paleo. That's what basically.
Paleo, yeah. I don't know that much about them, but I wanted to get the question in there. So if y'all have any thing you would like to let him know, please do so.
I particularly like the paleo type diet, but I don't know what. Watching are kind of into that stuff, so maybe he has an opinion on it. Maybe he's gone.
Well, he's still there.
I don't know his real name, but I can't say it. Harris Duke watching.
Oh, it's Jack.
Oh, Jack. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
Sorry.
I've been basically I've been eating a paleo type of diet for about the last 10 months, and it's been really helpful for me.
And, what do you see?
A lot of that is, yeah. I didn't know what your thoughts were on that.
I think it's fine. You need to find what brings you into balance, because we're all a little different, and there's you can do the blood type diet, or you can do the keto process, or you can do the paleo or the Mediterranean or the no mother and no face diet. I mean, give me a break. But those things it's all about balance.
And that's what I'm hearing more and more about over the last few months, more and more about getting the balance. And yet that you didn't used to hear not too long ago. It was all this diet, that diet, this is the craze, that's the craze. But they hardly ever talked about balance.
You got a jerk.
One of the things that happens is we get so far out of balance that we have to do some of these sort of crazy diets that are pushing the pendulum so far the other direction so that we can eventually come back to some reasonable homeostasis. And that's what we're all trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve that balance of homeostasis, where we need to be, where our bodies want to be, where our blood minerals are where they're supposed to be, our blood serum, cholesterol is where it's supposed to be, so everything's working together.
Well, how do you feel about the trace element supplements, or do you get into that at all?
Oh yeah, trace elements are extremely important, especially because we live in a society that has the farms, the places where we grow things are really not farms anymore. They're simply the stuff on the ground is a growing medium that is made to hold roots that we put some chemicals on to make the plant grow faster and produce more. And so there's no real diet or nutritional component to that. And so the trace minerals are extremely important because we don't rotate the crops. We don't put real minerals on the crops. We only put the ones on that force the plants to grow faster and hold more water because we sell them by the pound.
And I'm well aware of that part because I'm in the business. I don't grow food to eat, but we grow a lot of plants for, landscaping and stuff. And they do basically the same thing. They're not trying to. They're just trying to grow them fast, and that's all they care about.
Yep, real green.
And all right,
one of the problems right now we're dealing with is GMO stuff, and the GMO alfalfa is a nightmare.
I like this guy.
we're dealing with some serious issues with this whole GMO thing. We have GMO alfalfa out there in the wild now, and GMO is inhibiting the uptake of minerals. The whole idea of planting alfalfa is so that taproot goes down deep, brings up all those deep minerals that are turned into the soil so that you have a good growing topsoil for the plants. And we're defeating that with planting a GMO alfalfa so that we can grow faster alfalfa that's Roundup ready, no weeds, so it's easier to harvest and feed to the crop.
And so they can make more money off, and so they can make money off the seed.
Yeah, that's because Monsatan is running the show.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You're right ahead here, Jack.
Right, guys. We've gone on like almost an hour and a quarter here.
Let me tell you one more thing about Monsatan.
Okay. And don't leave when you finish.
You know,
I want to ask you something real quick.
You know what Blackwater is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Government contractors.
Blackwater mercenaries, right?
Yeah.
Blackwater?
Yes.
Did you know that Blackwater, because of all the press, changed its name to XE?
No, I didn't.
XE was subsequently purchased by guess who?
Monsatan.
Monsatan.
Monsatan. All right.
Monsatan now has its own fully armed military.
And they're probably getting all the hollow points.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
they
think
don't need
all
the
those
hollow points. Monsatan has its own navy. They have their own ships. They have their own helicopters. They have fully weaponized Black Hawk helicopters. Why does agribusiness need Black Hawk helicopters? I'm sorry. Something's wrong with that picture.
Well, they got to control the food to control the people.
Yeah, well, I got a few things to give them back.
All right. I enjoyed having you on, and I would am extending an invite for you to come back anytime you want. And if there's a way that I can get in touch with you through email or something, if you are willing to do that, I'll put my email in the chat room here.
I'll put mine in. You can save yours. No problem.
Okay.
You're going to love this.
All right, now, guys, is there any thing else y'all want to get out before we get off? Al, Mike, did we lose Al?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I'm good too. I got to run anyhow.
Oh, no, I like that.
Does that tell you something?
Yes, it does.
But you see, it's always about balance, guys. Because my email address is no FDA, no Food and Drug Administration. Many people would think I'm some kind of lefty loon, save the planet, hug the tree. I'm a radical centrist. You know what a centrist is? The Constitution is the central, compromise, moderate position. I'm a radical centrist.
Yeah, well, I'm getting sick and tired of giving in and trying to be nice, and
they're hanging us out to dry with the right-left dichotomy. It doesn't work.
All right, well, okay, guys, that's it for tonight. Mike, give the website out again real quick.
It's livefreenews.com.
All right. Do you want to give yours out about your other?
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to give y'all mine, bestbugoutbagcontent.com. And as I always do, if y'all have time when you get thinking about it, visit the site. Make some comments if you see something you like or don't like. Tell us either way. If you're new here, like Jack, if you would like to go back and see what we've been up to in the past, you can download the show through iTunes, or you can listen to it here on TalkShoe. Blackhawk Black Swan Hunter, thanks for stopping by. Hope you come back sometime. And if you want to come back and join in, you're welcome to join in. We're here every Saturday night, or almost every Saturday night. I've missed one since I started at TalkShoe.com. The show number is 120315 here at TalkShoe.com. So come back, join us again. And Jack, thanks. Mike, thanks. Al, thanks. And Black Swan, thanks for stopping by. That's it for tonight.